Once we are live. The Hanging Out is on the air. It says good morning, afternoon, or evening, or in some cases, good night. Right?
That's right. That's right.
We are truly international today, representing multiple time zones on the planet. We have me on the left coast, Laura on the right coast, and Jelena on the other side of the world. And we're really, really, really happy to have you, Jelena. Thank you, everybody, for showing up today. Rick, good morning, and Ellen, good morning, and oh my God, we got Larry Ryan in the house. Is this the nice Larry or the mean Lawrence? And Annie's here, and Chris is here. Welcome, everybody. And more people are coming in. And Laura, do you have anything you want to say before we introduce and get going with Jelena?
No, just hello. Thanks everybody for coming. You guys are in for a really big treat today. So turn off your cell phones and don't be cruising on the internet. Just put your ears on, because Jelena is amazing, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about.
Yeah. For those of you who know Jelena, she's a rock star. She's an absolute rock star, and we have her all to ourselves for a very short period of time. So take advantage of that. If you have any questions, be sure to throw them in the chat. If anybody wants to come over and interact directly, I'll bring you over. We don't have any problems. So I think most of you know who Jelena is. I'm not going to give her a very long introduction. She's probably better at that than I am anyhow, but she's just an incredible rock star. She's come from nowhere in the last couple of years to the top of the charts. She's presently L4 at MLSP, and what really turned me on and attracted me and made me want to ask her to come back, is she's been here before, is that she just plowed right through some of the biggest names in the industry to, I don't know, what place did you take in the contest, Jelena? It doesn't matter. She was one of the winners in the MLSP affiliate contest. They had this big $25,000 grand prize or whatever it was, affiliate contest, and Jelena just plowed through some of the biggest names in the industry to be one of the winners of that contest, and so it was an incredible result. Jelena, how the heck did you do that?
Oh my God, you're saying this right now, and I'm like, is he talking about me, or maybe there's someone else coming on board? I don't know. Oh my God, this has been quite a journey, should I say. You know, some people probably know me, some may not know me. Yeah, I'm over in Eastern Europe representing Latvia, or like the Russian nation, should I say, as I'm not Latvian, I just live in the country. I am Russian, so that's my first language. You know, yeah, I had to come to this place, I had to overcome a lot of adversity, a lot of limiting beliefs, language barrier, you know, the age, obviously. You know, I used to think, who would listen to a 19 or 20-year-old kid? So that was a challenge personally for me. And I kind of turned it around to be, instead of a disadvantage, to turn it into a benefit, right? So I decided to use my age and my, my Russian language, or my Russian accent, should I say, to kind of stand out from the crowd, right, as they say. So yeah, that contest was a lot of fun. There was a lot of, oh my God, like those names, when I looked everybody on that leaderboard, especially in the final one, I think it was like sixth place out of 10. And considering it was basically my big first affiliate contest, so I haven't really played in any contest before. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. And I'll tell you one thing, and I'm sure you're gonna ask some questions as well. My middle name is consistency. Like whatever you do, I don't care about the strategies or like the lead generation, because people always ask, what's the strategy? How do I get traffic? Where are the leads? How do I talk to people? I mean, first of all, really think about what you want. I mean, and get clear on who you want to become. I would say, we're kind of getting into like a whole full-blown training right now. But yeah, first of all, it's like, it's all about who you want to become, and then the strategies come later. And whatever you decide to choose, the strategies don't matter. You can do Facebook, or you can do Twitter, or you can do, live webinars just like this one. As long as you're consistent, you'll get there. So that's like, a little introduction, should I say.
Oh, that's awesome. No, that's awesome. I think one of the most significant things there is the thing that stands out to me is the first step is to have a vision of who you want to become. And then just go for it. You put your head down and you just go for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And also the idea that, so many people get so distracted by all the shiny objects out there, just picking a strategy, whichever it's going to be. And I think for you, it's in Facebook.
You mean the strategy was Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah, my strategy is Facebook. I don't mess around with any other social media. I mean, I do have accounts there, but Facebook is my jam.
Yeah. And then in the recent affiliate contest, you did a lot of Facebook paid advertising.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, but let's back up again. Where'd you come from? You made the comment, you said it a few minutes ago, and just so everyone here knows, and I think we have some people that don't really know your background. You started, basically, you were on your way into college, and
Yes.
you made a decision that said, I don't want to do that. What made you turn away from college?
Okay, yeah. So if somebody doesn't know me, I started out pretty young in network marketing. I mean, my parents introduced me to this whole concept of the home business, network marketing, MLM. I didn't know what it was. I just saw some circles, as we all do, right? So, and I got all excited and I said, Dad, please sign me up. And I just knew the cool product that there was and all that stuff. And obviously I was at high school, I was super busy with exams and I was doing a lot of extracurricular activities. I was also leading the school kind of parliament. So we were organizing a lot of events and all the stuff that we were doing at school, I was there all the freaking time. So obviously I didn't really have a lot of time for network marketing. And then there was the time when I was supposed to apply my documents for college, and I started going through some, extra exams and extra training. I took a 90-day super intensive course for English, which actually did really help. I guess that was one of the best investments that we've made during my high school studies. And then all of a sudden, I always had a passion to become a fashion designer. And then I kind of started thinking, is it really going to pay that well? And I was just uncertain. I didn't know what I was going to do. And I didn't know what career to choose. I was like, oh, maybe I can do computer programming because I'm pretty techy. Maybe I can go into law school because they get paid pretty well. And I had all of those. And I was like, oh, maybe I should become a translator because I know languages and I'm pretty good at that. And then all of a sudden, my dad told me, Jelena, do you really want to get into student loan? And, let's say in America, I had a dream to go to Harvard because I had all the best grades at school and all that stuff. And then I realized it was about 60 grand a year. And obviously, in Europe, the kind of the average, the cost of the living is way lower than in the States. So most people, they don't make that kind of money in Europe. So in the States, yes, they do, but still it's a ton of money for college. And I multiplied all that. I was like, oh my God, it's $250,000 just for the studies for the 4 years, really? So, and then I was like, oh, maybe I can go to London. London does seem pretty cool. And then it was still $15,000 per year. I was like, oh, that's a little bit better, but then still 60 grand in total. And that's just the tuition fee, and all the other stuff, it's going to come up, pretty quickly. So my dad told me, no, you're not going into student loan, you are getting into debt, because after that, after 4 years, you'll have to work your tail off to pay that back. And I was like, man, that doesn't sound like fun. I don't want to be in debt when I'm 20, before the age I'm 25 or whatever, or 23, or whatever the age would be. So, and he said, you're not going anywhere. You have this network marketing thing. And at that time I already joined the second company because I had some trouble with the first one, which, that kind of, happens, right? So, and then I started looking. Obviously I got, again, super busy. It was it was January 2014 all the way through May, June 2014. Exams, prom, graduation, all that stuff. We needed to buy a dress. We needed to pass exams, which I did. And then I said, I'm going to look for something. And I told my dad I'm going to find an online way to study. right? So I'm going to find something on how to build a business, because I had no clue. I was spamming people. I was trying to do some Facebook, and didn't work because I had no clue on what to do. My upline didn't know social media either. So I was kind of on my own. And then I said to my parents, please don't touch me for the next 2.5 months, all the way until September 1st. And on September 2nd, 2014, I joined MLSP. And yeah, obviously it was a lot of struggle, because obviously English, and then everybody was telling me do this and do that, and I was flat out overwhelmed. There was too much information to take in, because I literally went from no information to too much, and I didn't know how to put this all into like a big puzzle, which I was never able to put it all together until I had a conversation with my dad, who told me, it was 2015 August or July, and he just told me, Jelena, what you've been doing doesn't work. We put the money in, we don't see a return. Like, kind of what the heck? So it was a pretty tough conversation, and I guess that was the kick in the butt that I personally needed. And in August, I decided to put all the stuff that I've learned into a big 90-day game plan. And I kind of like, I would say I pitch 90-day blitzes to everybody who wants to get their business together, because it works. And within 90 days, I think I hit L1. So, and then I kind of worked on, pushing forward. So yeah, that's kind of the background.
So back up for a minute. What did you do with you put a 90-day game plan together, and I didn't quite follow. What was the next sentence there? So what did you do in those 90 days?
I hit the rank of L1. Yeah, so within those 90 days.
But you blitzed? You just went, everybody you know?
No, I mean, obviously I don't really have a warm market. So when somebody tells you that you have to have a big warm market to succeed in this business, I don't have anybody. It's just my high school teachers and my high school friends. That's it. And they all said that I'm crazy. They said, are you really putting your diploma into waste and all those grades and all that hard work? I mean, I don't regret that I've put all that hard work into high school, into school studies, because the way you do anything is the way you do everything, or something like that. So I studied super hard at school, and I guess I was like, well, I'm going to transition that into business. Yeah. So what I've done in those 90 days, number one, videos. Like if we speak about strategy, so that's kind of what you want to hear, what I've done. It's pretty simple. Videos. I was blogging 5 to 7 times a week, which, strategies do change. I don't really recommend doing that, blogging every single day, especially if I have 25 hours a day, so I can do whatever I want with my time, but most people, or like the majority of people, they don't have that much time. So it's all about being smart. And I will tell you, there's really 3 things that you have to be doing is build your audience every single day, whether it's going to be with paid advertising or going out there and talking to people on Facebook. I would say, number 1, choose one social media strategy. Don't go all over the place. I would say if you like Facebook, go with Facebook. And then set a number. Let's say if it's going to be 5 people a day or 10 people a day, and start conversations. Start building up your audience actively if you don't have a marketing budget, because I didn't have a marketing budget. I didn't have a warm market. I got nothing, right? So I had to work basically from zero. I mean, I didn't have any income. My family was obviously supporting me. And so build your audience. Number 2 is create content. And by content, it has to be daily, or it has to be at least consistent. It doesn't have to be specifically blogging, right? I do recommend doing blogging, but it doesn't have to be like every single day, because that's just crazy. I've done it. It takes a lot of time. So videos, I would say the easiest way to create content is Facebook Live. That's just my personal preference. It's non-techy. It gets a lot of exposure. And if you combine content with building up your audience, then it's a killer combination from my perspective. So I really focus on promotion, because a lot of the times people just get so overwhelmed and so all over the place with I gotta create content, I gotta do blog posts, I gotta put out videos. But then if you don't promote, nobody's gonna be watching. So instead of just doing videos and putting out blog posts and hoping for somebody to come on. You know, talk to people every single day, expose people to your content, and, you know, at the bare minimum, share your Facebook lives into Facebook groups. I think that's, you know, probably the most simple way to get some exposure, because I'm doing that on my fan page. You know, if you go to my fan page, you're going to see that most of my videos, they are being shared into about 25 or 27 different Facebook groups.
Mhm.
So that's some good exposure. And then, gosh, it's a follow-up process. It's making sure that you are engaging with other people, you know, with their posts. You know, I'm kind of like going into some specifics when it comes to Facebook. So it's always staying in front of your audience, because, you know, and I'll tell you one thing, people have been asking me, how did you sign up people into MLSP, for example? I'll tell you, every single person that I've signed up, it wasn't that I reached out to that person, it was they saw my videos or my blog post or some article, or they found me on Google or on YouTube or on Facebook, or through paid advertising, or, you know, I didn't do paid advertising in the beginning, but it's all in that attraction marketing. It works as long as you are consistent, as long as you're putting out valuable content, and as long as as long as you do engage with your audience. So when you kind of do all of those simple activities, I mean, anybody can do it. It's not rocket science.
No, you're right. It's not rocket science. I agree. The challenge is so many people struggle with it and they just don't make very much progress. And I think the key sitting in there probably is in the consistency, not whatever they're doing, and also in getting spread too thin. And I will be the first to admit that I was guilty of that in the beginning. I got myself spread all over the place. You know, I took a video course, and I took a Facebook course, and I took this course, and I took that course, and pretty soon I had all these courses but no results.
Yeah.
But yeah, the epitome of the college student. You know, the other thing that's awesome about the fact that you chose not to go to college is that you might have spent all that money, $60,000 in Europe, far more than that in the United States, and be flipping burgers at McDonald's because you can't get a job. I forget what the number is, but there's a significant fraction of college graduates who can't get a job in their field.
Yeah, the percentage is pretty darn high. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's an amazing number, and I don't want to quote it because I don't remember exactly what it is, but it's an amazing number. And so, you know, you got somebody with $80,000 worth of student loan debt flipping burgers somewhere, and you got to wonder. I mean, that time is behind us. But what was awesome in your case is your father was really behind you too. Now, is he in network marketing?
No, my parents, they have their own e-commerce business and their own, you know, like they always have been entrepreneurs, kind of like I realized that maybe like 2 years ago. But yeah, they started with network marketing, and now I'm the person who's taking care of the affiliate marketing side, the network marketing side of the family business, and my parents are taking care of the, you know, stuff like Amazon, eBay, and their own other, you know, businesses.
But it's awesome that you had their support.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that was really neat. So I'm looking at the chat and wondering if anybody out there in the audience has any questions they'd like to throw up for Jelena before we get too close to the quitting time here. So from your viewpoint, if someone's coming in with little or no, a lot of times people started in network marketing with little or no money. Now, you got to listen to this, folks. I mean, here's a young lady who basically came in out of high school, didn't speak the language, lives on the other side of the world, and had no money. And in 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years, she's climbed to the top of the charts. So what's your excuse? And, you know, so many people have so many excuses. But when you say you talk to people all the time too, does talk mean talk with your mouth, or does it mean in chats and things like that? Because you were fighting a language barrier. How did you get going in the beginning?
First of all, I mean, I did call my leads. It really didn't work out that well. You know, I used to buy leads. You know, I've done some weird stuff because I, you know, didn't know anything. But I started out with just chatting with people because, you know, right now I can't. I mean, it's not that I didn't know the language. I did know the language, but the verbiage and the terminology, it was all different. You know, those lead generation, personal development. I had to translate what a mindset is. I didn't know that. We didn't learn that at school. So I had to translate all the stuff to get it. So I knew the language at a pretty high level, but I had to, you know, immerse myself into that kind of environment, because when you know, if we have some, I don't know if we have anybody who's, you know, not a native English speaker either, but when you talk in English amongst Russians, they all think that you're a rock star and they're like clapping you. Yes, your English is amazing. But then you get into an environment like this and you understand that you just suck. You need more practice. You need to learn more. And I was on all the webinars. I was in all the trainings, all the wake-up calls, chatting. I was chatting with people a lot. You know, I was listening, you know, video, I mean, all that stuff. I mean, I was a 24/7 student, and you know, it paid off. It did take me a lot of time. So, you know, I don't regret any hour that I spent on a webinar, any time when I had to wake up at 4 a.m., which is still do that crazy stuff, but at least I can do it at the age of 22. But yeah, so going back to the question, gosh, I already forgot what the question was. Yeah, but yeah, I was chatting with people. Yeah, so I was chatting with people primarily. I didn't really pick up the phone a lot because I was too scared. So I just was practicing and practicing and practicing even more through the Facebook Messenger. So that's kind of how I was chatting with people. I did have to get on the phone. I mean, last year was probably really the first year when I started getting on the phone consistently. Last year, in the beginning of the year, 2016, you know, yeah, some, you know, January, February, something like that, because I didn't have confidence. I mean, I'll tell you one thing, I did not have anything other than the willingness to make it happen. And I guess that's kind of what you should have. You know, adversity will come into the way. I'm not saying that your barrier is going to be the language or whatever that is. It could be anything. It could be lack of self-worth. It could be fear of failure. So, you know, challenges will be there all the time, no matter what level of success you get to, but it's just that willingness to push through and persevere. So yeah, I was chatting with people and then I got a little bit more confidence, which I didn't have in the beginning because, you know, I didn't know who would listen to somebody like me. I didn't know who would, you know, make fun of my language or my what do you call it, accent. So I couldn't even put together 2 words on a video because I was too nervous. I was like, my hands were sweating. I didn't know if I looked good. Does my hair look good? Or like all that stuff. Like, especially when you're a girl, it's like, is my makeup looking good, right? So all that stuff. So I just had to keep doing the stuff that I was fearful of. And I'll tell you one thing, something that I've been using pretty heavily is Facebook voice messenger. That stuff is money, right? I mean, seriously, I was so scared of using that before. Right now, I'm like an addict when it comes to voice messages. I love this stuff because it's so quick. I don't have to type anything. And you know, if you're building a business, you've got to be using Facebook Messenger. If I'll tell you what apps to use, just have 2 apps: Facebook like app and Facebook Messenger. That's it. You can make money because on Facebook you can do Facebook Lives and you can talk to people and you can get in front of your audience. And with Facebook Messenger, you can actually talk with people. And the cool part is, you know, people are stressing out, oh, should I ask people for their phone number, you know, to pick up the phone, call them through Messenger. I mean, come on, like you can even do 3-way calls over here. You can do 3-way video calls down here. We tried one the other, maybe like you know, a month ago. I mean, Facebook is really taking things over to the next level when it comes to building a business, and I get so excited when I even talk about it. So yeah, I just started chatting with people, and then I got a little bit more comfortable. And in order for me to practice my speech, should I say, I did a ton of videos. I mean, on my Facebook profile alone, I think I have over 400 videos right now. So practice, 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 and yeah, and then I was able to get on the phone. So yeah.
Awesome. Hey, Laura, you have anything you want to chat with Jelena about while we're here?
Actually, my favorite thing about Jelena is that she loves books and she likes to review them. So my question to you is, if you were to suggest 3 starting out books, which ones are your favorite? And yeah, maybe tell us why.
So is it specifically to network marketing or more kind of mindset?
I don't know, it could be a mix.
I mean, honestly, if I look at the bookshelf, I mean, Eric Worre's book is kind of like everybody recommends that, so it's pretty obvious one. Let's say when it comes to, I mean, it really depends on what you want to, like what kind of challenges, should I say, you have. So one of the books that I love, and I may have to reread that, it's The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. So that one made a lot of sense. I like the way it's structured. I think I might have done a review on that. I mean, I have a blog post on on everything, right? So yeah, that's a really, it's super short. Every chapter is very short, so it's, you can read it seriously in like 2 days. So that's book number one. Number two, I just recently read it by Jen Sincero, You Are a Badass. So it's like the yellow book. Everybody's posting it on Facebook right now. So I loved it. So if you have some kind of limiting beliefs or kind of asking, can I do this? Is it possible? That's a really good book. And the one I'm reading right now, I'm pretty confident recommending that, even though I haven't finished it. But this big one, Awaken the Giant Within, I just started it, and I have difficulties putting it down because it is so good. Obviously anything by Tony Robbins is good, so I would definitely recommend that one. So yeah, I guess those are my 3 recommendations for the reading material.
What's the yellow book? I Am a Badass?
You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. Yeah, I can drop it in here. That's a good title, right?
I missed that one, huh?
That's a good title. I just throw it into the chat.
So Chris is asking, did you say your parents are doing Amazon and eBay?
Yeah, they do this right now. Yeah, they have their own products and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really awesome that you had that support from your family, at least, and they have their own business and they pushed you away from college. Imagine where you'd be today if you were going to college in London.
Oh my God! Don't even ask me that. I would probably be crying. I want to cry just thinking about it. No college for me.
But there would be, you wouldn't know what you missed. That's the thing. So many people make the safe choice, and they never really understand what it is they left behind that they could have been or could have done. They're afraid to step out of their comfort zone. I mean, you had to step hugely out of your comfort zone to get on this journey.
Oh yeah. It was way out of my comfort zone for somebody who was not confident. I mean, all the stuff that you already know about me. Yeah, that was tough.
And the thing that kills so many people is that they're just afraid to make that big move, take that big step.
Yeah, like you just have to make the jump and figure it out along the way. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, as I didn't know anything about the industry. And as they say, you got to do something that like scares you all the time, because if you don't, you're going to stay in your comfort zone and nothing really happens there. It's in the comfort zone, it's boring.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Laura.
No, I was just going to say, I love the idea that, yes, you should always be something that you're maybe fearful for. And that's what helps you grow. So get out of your comfort zone, and she knocked it on the nose.
Yeah. Well, was it on this morning's call that the statement was made, you're either growing or dying? There are no other options. There are no other options. If you're not moving, you're stagnating. What's happening? So, gosh. So just we'll wrap up here in the next couple of minutes. Unless there's more questions that come in. But so the contest. Tell if someone's jumping in to paid advertising, do you have any advice for them with Facebook paid advertising? What's the biggest challenge there?
Okay, the biggest challenge, I'll tell you up front, it's Facebook changes their stuff all the time. I just logged into Ads Manager a few days ago and I saw some new stuff and I got a little bit scared because I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't want it to happen. So you have to educate yourself, because there's a lot of trainings on Facebook ads. Number one thing I would say is either find somebody who's doing Facebook ads or just get a course, because this will really, if you want to get into paid advertising, educate yourself first before getting into that. So I had to educate myself first and learn from the people that know how to do it, because when you invest money, you don't want to be just wasting that. You need to bring return on your investment. So it's better to invest, I don't know, 200, 300, whatever that is, to put that time and money to understand what you're going to be doing. So you're not just all by yourself, all alone. So, I mean, education when it comes to Facebook ads is super important, especially, look for the course that is current, because there's a lot of courses that are not current, and especially with Facebook ads, I feel sorry for all the trainers, because they have to keep updating their trainings for Facebook ads, because they just keep changing their stuff. So yeah, find something that's current, or I don't know, like hire somebody who's going to be able to, if you don't want to spend a lot of time into going through trainings and courses, I mean, just hire somebody, find a coaching program or whatever. And, in MLSP, there's a coaching program as well. So that could be a good option. So somebody can kind of walk you through exactly what you should do when it comes to Facebook ads. I just feel it's going to be, more time effective and more time effective, should I say. So yeah, you really should know what you're doing with Facebook ads, because they keep changing the stuff and it can be confusing. Like their back office, I would say you have to really get familiar with that. And the more you do them, the easier it gets, for sure.
Now, speaking of coaching, you are one of the MLSP coaches.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and that's another amazing result for someone who's been around the industry such a short period of time. But so if anyone is interested in working with Jelena, one of the ways to do that is through the MLSP coaching program. Are there any other ways? Do you do any coaching are you allowed to do any coaching that's outside of MLSP?
I do have coaching outside of MLSP, but I'm not allowed to take any coaching clients outside of MLSP if you're a member of MLSP, because it's not going to be fair to your person who referred you to MLSP. So yeah, just fill out an application form and see if you could be a fit for the coaching program. Yeah.
Okay, but for someone who's not in MLSP, then you would be available potentially.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So there you have it, folks. If you want to work with Jelena, and Laura, you actually went through a coaching program with Jelena, didn't you?
I did.
Yep.
And
she set me straight. I was actually kind of like a cookie cutter starter. I had things that I was doing, but I was all over the place. And she really helped me to focus and figure out a good DMO, what I should be doing every day. And she knocked consistency in my head, and it really made a big difference. So yeah, I appreciate it. And if anybody ever is thinking about coaching, she would be your gal, because she'll get you to where you need to go pretty quickly. As long as you're coachable, you have to be coachable.
Yes. Thank you.
that is an issue for some of us, isn't it?
What did you say?
Thank you, Annie. Yeah, I am good with that, because that's where I learned it from. I learned a lot of my stuff from Jelena, and I learned a lot of my stuff from Len. So yeah. Consistency.
She learned a lot of stuff from Len, and then she took coaching from Jelena, and Jelena set her straight. I think that was the sequence. Wasn't that the sequence?
No. Well, it was, but it was put together.
I'm joking with you. It's really okay.
I know, you're making me turn red. No, Len's a very good coach as well.
Okay, well, I promised Jelena a half hour. I don't want to hold her up any longer, and I don't see any more questions coming in. So everyone in the chat, this is your last chance. Grab her now or forever hold your peace. And thank you, everybody, for coming today. Ellen, Lawrence, Chris, Annie, Junie, thanks for being here. Don't forget, we have our webinar at 5 o'clock this afternoon, The Next $1 Trillion Industry, and how you can benefit from it. You're going to want to be there. Laura and I are doing that webinar at 5 o'clock today. and you can find the links. If you can't find the link on the internet, well, you're blind, because they're out there all over the place now, or at least on Facebook and in Twitter. So, all right. So thank you so much, Jelena. As always, it's a pleasure. I love having you. I love talking from you. You're just such an inspiration, and
Thank you.
rightfully so. Keep going. So what is your vision? Who is the person you're going to be a year or 2 or 3 from now?
Well, it's very difficult for me to think like 3 years ahead. I mean, I did have my goals written down, all that stuff, but I think for me, I just need to become a person of value even further, as I have to constantly keep getting better and better and better, as we always say, right? So actually, I just hired a coach myself, so I thought it was kind of the right time to do it. So I guess that's going to be, my next goal is to improve what I've done so far and to kind of scale from here. And, my goal is to be able to impact more people through what's the word I'm looking for? Through the education that I provide. So, I do want to be able to reach more people than I have before. And I feel like every single person on the line can do the exact same thing as long as you're consistent, persistent, and as long as you know where you're going. So it's really not about me, and it's never going to be about me. It's always going to be about the people that I serve. And I would say that should be the goal for every single person on this line. Yep.
So have a vision, take action, be consistent.
Yep, that's the way to do it.
That's it. That's it. That's the secret to success. Everybody
Yep.
wants to know the secret. That's the secret. Right?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. We're going to wrap it up. Laura, you got any final thoughts?
No, just thank you, Jelena, for coming on. We appreciate you so much. Congratulations on your win. You worked really hard.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.
You did. Hey, we're gonna have to have you back again. So next time you win something big, we'll come back and talk some more.
All right. I'll have to.
When are you gonna hit L5?
I'm not gonna throw that publicly, but it's coming. It's coming.
Oh, I know it's coming. I know it's coming. Diane Hockman, look out, move over. Jelena's on her way.
Exactly.
I know it. I know it. There's no question. There's no question. All right, everybody, we're going to kill the broadcast. Thank you so much for coming. Once again,
Thank
Jelena,
you.
love having you. I just love you. I think you're just such an inspiration. And
Thank
here we
you
go.
so much.
3, 2,